Friends, in today's video we're showing you 4 coins that most people spend as normal change. But the truth is, these coins can make you rich in seconds. This woman you see on the front of the coin is not an ordinary woman. She is Susan B. Anthony, the American legend who fought for women's rights. And in 1979, the United States placed her portrait on the $1 coin, making her the first woman ever to appear on a circulating U.S. coin. And these 2 silver-colored dollars at the back, if any rare mint errors are found on them, their value can jump from $200 to even $1,500 in the collector market. And the 2 golden dollars you see, their rare varieties are still sold for high prices by collectors today. So whoever has even one of these coins, consider yourself lucky, because today I'm going to reveal their real value, their history, and the rare types that can change your fortune. Watch the video till the end. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because here, even a single coin can turn you into a winner. Let's begin with the first coin. 1979 D $1 coin from the United States of America is considered one of the most interesting modern dollars because the Denver Mint produced a very large quantity. Yet collectors still search for high-grade pieces and rare minting flaws that can make the coin worth far more than its face value. The normal circulation value of the 1979 D Susan B. Anthony dollar usually stays around $1 because most pieces were used in daily transactions, but uncirculated coins, brilliant examples, and coins with sharp strikes can easily reach anywhere between $2 to $20 depending on their preservation, while certified high-grade coins in MS 65 or MS 66 sometimes reach higher collector prices. In some cases, error coins produced by the Denver Mint, such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, or coins struck on wrong planchets, can sell for $100, $200, and even more than $500 depending on how dramatic and rare the error is. And coins in top-tier grading holders from well-known companies can reach still higher values because the modern dollar market is extremely sensitive to condition and visual beauty. The dollar market for the 1979 D coin grows every year because collectors appreciate both its historical meaning and its accessibility compared to older silver dollars, and many new collectors buy these coins to complete their 13-coin Susan B. Anthony series, which increases the demand for high-quality Denver Mint examples. This coin itself carries the portrait of Susan B. Anthony, a powerful leader in the American women's rights movement, a social reformer who spent her life fighting for women's voting rights, equal treatment, and civil equality. Her portrait was chosen for this series to honor her legacy and to make her the first woman ever featured on a regularly circulating United States coin. The coin was introduced in 1979 to replace the Eisenhower dollar and to create a smaller, lighter, more convenient dollar coin for the American public. On the obverse side of the coin, Susan B. Anthony faces right with the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, and the mint mark D placed near the rim, which shows that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. Around the portrait are 11 stars representing the original American colonies. On the reverse of the coin, an image of an eagle landing on the moon is displayed, inspired by the Apollo 11 mission, symbolizing America's achievements and strength in space exploration. This design was originally created for the Eisenhower dollar, but was carried forward to the Anthony dollar to maintain continuity and national symbolism. The metal composition of the 1979 D dollar is a copper-nickel clad combination, the same style used for modern quarters and half dollars, giving the coin a silver-gray appearance without precious metal content. Because the coin contains no silver, its intrinsic metal value is low, which means the collectible premium depends entirely on rarity, condition, and errors. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins, but most circulated heavily, making truly flawless mint-state examples much harder to find. Collectors focus especially on coins with strong luster, clean fields, and minimal contact marks, and they pay a premium for examples certified by major grading companies such as PCGS or NGC. High-grade pieces can reach impressive prices when they appear at auctions because the supply of perfectly preserved coins shrinks every year while collector interest grows. The background history of this coin is also important. When the United States government introduced the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the public initially struggled to accept it because its size and color were very similar to a quarter, which caused confusion in everyday transactions. As a result, many people refused to use the coin, and large quantities remained stored in government vaults for decades. However, this public resistance eventually made earlier years, including the 1979 D issue, more interesting to collectors. The Anthony Dollar series gained recognition much later, and now these coins are a staple item in modern American numismatics. Today, collectors appreciate the series for its bold representation of an influential woman, its connection to the space program, and its short production history. For anyone who owns a 1979 D $1 coin, the potential value lies in its grade, its preservation, and the possibility of unique mint errors. A normal circulated piece is worth $1. An uncirculated, brilliant uncirculated piece may be worth several dollars. Certified MS 65 examples often go for strong collector premiums, and rare errors can bring in substantial money. Many YouTubers, collectors, and online buyers regularly search for these dollars because high-quality examples are becoming harder to find each year. This makes the 1979 D coin a good collectible, especially for beginners who want to start building a modern dollar collection. The coin carries history, symbolism, and a meaningful story behind its creation, and for many collectors around the world, it represents both American heritage and the legacy of Susan B. Anthony. 1980 P $1 coin from the United States of America is one of the most talked-about coins from the Susan B. Anthony series because the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of pieces, yet the collector market still pays strong attention to high-grade examples and rare striking errors that can dramatically increase the value. In today's dollar market, most circulated 1980 P Anthony dollars trade close to $1 because the coin contains no silver and was heavily used in transportation systems, vending machines, and general commerce throughout the early 1980s. But the collector market places higher premiums on sharp, bright, untouched pieces with original mint luster. Brilliant uncirculated examples can bring $2 to $15 depending on their condition and surfaces, and coins certified by major grading companies like PeaceGS or NGC in MS 64, MS 65, and especially MS 66 can reach significantly higher amounts because these grades are much harder to find from the Philadelphia Mint. Some of the rarest error pieces, such as full off-center strikes, multiple strike errors, double die obverse pieces, wrong planchet strikes, including strikes on quarter planchets, or dramatic clipped planchets, can sell for hundreds of dollars, and exceptionally bold or unusual errors have occasionally pushed even higher in private collector sales. The modern dollar market is extremely condition-sensitive, meaning that small differences in eye appeal or strike quality can influence the final price dramatically. When it comes to the general value of the 1980 P $1, the normal circulated value remains $1, but the uncirculated premium increases based on three things: clarity of the fields, sharpness of the portrait of Susan B. Anthony, and the brightness of the original mint luster. Philadelphia minted coins often show softer strikes than Denver minted examples, which means that fully struck hair details, sharp stars, and clean rims are more desirable and more expensive. Collectors especially search for pieces with strong strikes on the eagle's wings on the reverse, because many coins from the Philadelphia Mint show flatness in these areas. High-grade 1980 P Anthony dollars graded MS 66 or better are much harder to locate and frequently sell for strong premiums at auctions, making this coin more interesting to serious numismatists than people often realize. The coin itself carries important historical meaning. The 1980 P dollar, like the entire Susan B. Anthony series, was created to honor the life and legacy of Susan B. Anthony, the famous American women's rights activist who dedicated her life to the fight for women's suffrage, equality, and civil liberties. She became a national symbol of strength and change, and placing her portrait on the $1 coin marked the first time that a woman appeared on a widely circulating U.S. coin. This was a major cultural moment in American history. The U.S. Mint introduced the Anthony dollar in 1979 to replace the large Eisenhower dollar and create a more practical small-sized dollar coin. The public, however, quickly became confused because the Anthony dollar was nearly the same size and color as the quarter, causing misidentification issues and reducing everyday usage. Because of this confusion, many 1980 P $1 coins remained unappreciated by the public and eventually got pulled from circulation by collectors and banks, which adds to their appeal decades later. The obverse design of the 1980 P dollar features Susan B. Anthony facing right, surrounded by 11 stars representing the original American colonies, with the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust. The mint mark P, indicating the Philadelphia Mint, is placed near her shoulder. This was the first time the Philadelphia Mint consistently used a P mint mark on circulating U.S. coins, adding extra historical significance to the piece. The reverse design portrays an eagle landing on the moon holding an olive branch, a design based on the official Apollo 11 insignia, symbolizing peace, strength, and America's achievements in space exploration. This powerful imagery connects the coin not only to American history, but also to technological progress and national pride. The metallic composition of the 1980 P$1 is copper-nickel clad, similar to the quarter and half-dollar series of the same era. While the coin has no silver content, it carries numismatic value through condition and rarity. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of coins, but most entered heavy circulation, meaning that untouched, original mint-state examples are far less common today. Collectors particularly search for coins with smooth fields, minimal bag marks, and bright luster. Coins with strong strikes and attractive surfaces are becoming increasingly difficult to find because decades of handling, machine use, and storage have affected the majority of pieces from this year. The story of the 1980 P-dollar also includes the public's rejection of the entire Anthony dollar series. Americans refused to widely accept the coin, leading to poor circulation and large government stockpiles of unused dollars. But what was once unpopular has now become historically significant. Today, collectors admire these coins for their short series, their strong symbolism, and their representation of a powerful female leader. The 1980 P coin stands out because it is the second year of issue, produced during the period when the U.S. Mint was still trying to push the new dollar into circulation as a practical currency option. For anyone who owns a 1980 P$1 coin, the potential lies not only in its face value, but also in its collectible worth. A normal circulated coin is worth $1, but a bright uncirculated piece can bring several dollars, depending on quality. High-graded certified examples earn much more, and rare error pieces can command serious money from collectors. Many numismatists and buyers are constantly searching for exceptional examples because high-quality Philadelphia pieces are becoming scarcer every year. This makes the 1980 P-dollar a meaningful, historically rich, and potentially valuable coin for anyone who decides to keep it in their collection, and it remains one of the most important issues of the Susan B. Anthony dollar series. The woman shown on the 2000 P-mint $1 United States coin is Sacagawea, a young Shoshone Native American woman from the early 1800s whose name is pronounced Sacagawea, and she became famous because she helped guide and interpret for the Lewis and Clark expedition across the unexplored American territories. The model used for her face on the coin was a modern Shoshonebannock woman named Randiel Hidao Teton, and Sacagawea is shown carrying her infant son Jean-Baptiste on her back, which symbolizes courage, exploration, and motherhood. The dollar market value of a normal 2000 P Sacagawea dollar in circulation today generally remains around $1 because the mintage was extremely high, more than 767 million coins. So in the current collector market, a worn or circulated example is still commonly worth only its face value, while an uncirculated example may bring a few dollars and special error types or the rare early promotion varieties can reach higher amounts. But the normal coin does not make someone rich. The value is low because these coins were mass-produced and the supply far exceeds demand, so unless the coin has a dramatic error, a special Cheerios dollar pattern, or a high-grade mint state certification, it remains a common collectible and trades in the normal dollar price range. The coin itself is called the Sacagawea dollar or the golden dollar, though it contains no real gold. Instead, it has a copper core with a manganese brass outer layer containing copper, zinc, manganese, and nickel, which gives it the bright golden yellow color that stands out from other circulating coins. This composition was chosen to create a distinctive look and to prevent the coin from being confused with the quarter. The coin weighs 8.1 grams, measures 26.5 millimeters in diameter, and features a flying eagle on the reverse design symbolizing freedom and the spirit of the United States. The Philadelphia Mint struck the P mint mark version in huge quantities for circulation, which is why the coin is common today. The overall information about the 2000 P Sacagawea $1 coin is that it represents an important historical figure, highlights Native American heritage, carries symbolic meaning through the mother and child design, has a bright golden tone created by its alloy, is widely available due to massive production, and in regular condition it does not bring large profits in the market, so although it is beautiful and meaningful, a person holding one normal circulated piece does not become wealthy from it, and the coin's main value comes from its historical representation rather than high monetary worth. Although the regular 2000p Sacagawea dollar is common, collectors still study many value factors that can raise its worth, such as surface quality, luster, strike sharpness, and the presence of any mint-made errors. And because of these factors, the price can increase dramatically for certain special pieces. For example, a perfectly preserved coin graded MS-67 or MS-68 by a top grading service like NGC or PieceGS can sell from dozens to hundreds of dollars, depending on how flawless the surface is. While coins with special strike characteristics such as satin finish, early dye state brilliance, or unusual planchet features can also rise in value, and the rarest varieties such as the Cheerios dollar, which was distributed in cereal boxes in early 2000 and has a more detailed eagle tail feather pattern, can reach values ranging from hundreds to several $1,000s depending on condition. And there are legendary mule error, 2000 coins where the obverse of a Washington quarter was accidentally paired with the Sacagawea reverse, and those extremely rare errors have sold for tens of thousands of dollars at auction, proving that under the right conditions this coin series can reach unbelievable heights in the collector market. However, these high-value examples represent only a tiny fraction of all coins made, and the normal business strike 2000p dollar remains common, but still collectors appreciate coins with strong golden tone, full mint brilliance, and clean scratch-free surfaces, and they may pay premium prices of $5, $10, $20 or more dollars for exceptionally fresh coins pulled from old mint rolls or bags, so the market can reward quality even when the mintage is huge. This coin's attractive color, caused by its manganese brass outer layer, sometimes helps it maintain a shine that collectors find appealing. And original brilliant coins kept in airtight holders can stay bright for decades, preserving better market interest. The story of Sacagawea herself adds emotional and cultural value, because she represents bravery, intelligence, and leadership, being a teenage Shoshone woman who carried her baby while guiding a massive expedition across thousands of miles, and her presence on the coin gives it historical and sentimental value, even if the monetary price is modest. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 767 million units, which normally keeps market prices low, yet even inside such a huge supply coins with dramatic off-center strikes. Broad strikes, clipped planchets, double die obverse, or reverse die cracks can sell from $20 to several $100s depending on the severity of the error and the coin's overall grade, meaning that the potential for higher value exists for those lucky enough to hold an unusual piece. Because demand increases when collectors build full sets including every year, mint mark, and major variety. Many people search for high-end 2000p coins to complete their golden dollar collections, and when they find one with exceptional eye appeal or strong strike, it can command a premium far above face value. Although owning a regular circulated example does not make someone rich, the collector world still respects the 2000p Sacagawea dollar as an iconic modern American design that continues to attract interest, and while the average value is low, the possibility of higher prices and rare varieties keeps this coin important in the numismatic community, giving it long-term presence, historical meaning, and a market that remains active for both beginners and advanced collectors. The coins marked 1809 or 1817 with a $1 denomination that show a man sitting on the front side and a woman on the back side are not official United States $1 coins because the real U.S. Mint did not produce any $1 coins in those years. So the pieces people see today are replicas, fantasy tokens, or privately made commemorative medals. And because they are not official U.S. Mint issues, their normal value is usually low, often only a few dollars unless they are made of silver or have collectible appeal, and only rare high-grade silver replicas sometimes rise in price, but the regular common pieces do not carry large monetary worth. The man shown sitting on the front of these replica pieces is usually modeled after classical Greco-Roman style figures representing liberty, justice, or national strength. And he is not an actual U.S. president or any real American historical figure, but rather an allegorical male figure created by private engravers to make the coin look old and important, which is why he appears in a robe, holding a staff or shield, sitting in a formal pose like ancient sculptures. On the backside, the woman shown is generally an allegorical figure of liberty, designed after early 19th century European engravings, and she is often shown holding an olive branch or a pole with a liberty cap, symbolizing peace, freedom, and the founding values of the United States. And she is not meant to be a real woman from American history, but rather the artistic personification of the nation itself, an image inspired by classical art that private minters used to imitate the style of early U.S. coins. These fantasy pieces were created because collectors like old-style designs from the early American era, and because the years 1809 and 1817 sound like rare early federal dates. So private manufacturers invented these tokens to satisfy the market of people wanting old American dollars, even though no official U.S. $1 coins existed in those years. And this is why the coins have dramatic classical imagery and impressive dates to make them appear historical. The full story behind such pieces is that during the late 19th and 20th century, many private die makers, novelty shops, exposition souvenir companies, and silver-round producers made replica dollars using random historic dates, classical figures, and imaginary designs to attract buyers. And although they are interesting as artistic creations, they do not belong to official U.S. mint. History. Their details typically include a silvery appearance, larger size similar to early silver dollars, classical artwork on both sides, and a date chosen purely for decoration rather than authenticity. The purpose of making such coins was to celebrate early American-style engraving, to give collectors a beautiful piece representing liberty and national symbolism, and to sell attractive souvenirs that look like early American money. Because of all this, the value is normally limited and, while the designs are beautiful and meaningful, the coins remain inexpensive unless they contain real silver or are part of a rare private series. And the figures on both sides represent idealized symbolic concepts, not real individuals from American history. These fantasy 1809 and 1817 $1 pieces continued to spread because many people found them visually powerful, and private engravers kept improving the artwork, adding deeper lines, brighter strike surfaces, and more classical shading to make the man and woman look like ancient heroic characters, which increased their appeal even though they were never real U.S. dollars. Collectors often bought them believing they might be connected to early American history, and over time these pieces developed their own small market where people enjoy the romantic imagery of a seated guardian figure on the front, representing strength and protection, and a graceful woman on the back, representing liberty and the promise of peace, with her olive branch or liberty cap symbolizing hope for a new nation. So even though the coins are not official, they still carry emotional and artistic value. The reason the dates 1809 and 1817 were chosen is because those years fall inside the period when the United States was young and struggling to establish national identity. So private makers used those dates to evoke memories of early republic hardships and victories, and buyers felt connected to an age of independence, courage, and frontier expansion. And to enhance this feeling, the engravers purposefully used classical art poses based on Greek and Roman sculptures, giving the man his upright posture and the woman her flowing robe, so that the pieces look like they belong to an ancient heroic tradition linked to liberty. Although the monetary value of these tokens remains modest, sometimes rising only when the metal content is silver or when a particular design becomes scarce, the symbolic message carried by the images keeps the demand alive, because many collectors enjoy holding something that resembles a missing chapter in American coinage, a what-if, designed from a time when the mint did not actually produce $1 coins. Some collectors display them next to real early U.S. silver dollars to imagine how the nation might have represented strength and freedom through different artistic choices. And this imaginative connection often makes these pieces feel more special than their simple market price suggests. Over time, the tokens also became conversation pieces, used by teachers, reenactors, and history enthusiasts to illustrate how coinage art reflects national ideals. And even though the man and woman on these pieces were never real individuals, they continue to be interpreted as symbolic guardians of early American spirit, representing the struggle, hope, and political dreams of a country still forming its identity, which is why people keep these pieces not because they are rare or expensive, but because they tell a beautiful imagined story about the United States in the early 19th century, making them meaningful keepsakes even without official mint status.